let's talk about Shang Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
Ooh, sounds very epic, dude.
You are fresh out of the cinema.
So I was sitting in the cinema today, and I was thinking one of the first things Sage is gonna say is, "You are fresh out of the cinema." Damn, spot on.
Boom.
Spot on.
Perfect. It was a small cinema. I saw the picture. That's
I chose
like half the size of our
the
local one.
I chose the cheap one.
It's nice. I like it. I like how like comfortable it looked.
Okay, just saying this. So the one that I chose the smaller one because it was like $4 cheaper. So if I paid $4 more, the size would have been, I'm not even joking, like 8 times the size or 10.
Okay.
Yeah. So I went cheap.
I mean, Sydney and I watched it on Mondays, which are $5 movie nights. So we did the same thing.
just going cheap, dude. Just going cheap.
And like this movie's so good. Not to like get in too deep, but what were your thoughts around the movie? Like overall, you're fresh out of the cinema. You haven't really been able to like fully process it.
Yeah.
But like, what are your thoughts on it?
I entered the movie just knowing nothing about it except for watching that teased fight scene in the bus. I completely ignored, like, I think I maybe watched like 10 seconds of the trailer or something, and that's it. And I saw the entire sequence of the bus that they posted on the social media. Aside from that, I didn't know anything about the movie, haven't read anything about this character at all from beforehand. So I was just expecting the character to run around with these powerful rings and, knocking people out. Like, kind of like Iron Man, just getting his power and then going around and knocking people. But, no, I was quite, happily and, how should I say it? I was quite happy with the result after I finished the movie. Let's just say
pleasantly surprised.
No, not pleasantly surprised. Not pleasantly, because I have some quirks with it. But
okay,
yeah,
we'll get into those in a bit.
But I would say I'm happy with the result, and I like it. It's a good Marvel movie. Yeah.
So we went to the local cinema here on Monday. $5 movie night. It was great. Got a good we weren't the only people in there, but it was pretty sparse in terms of people visiting. It was probably like 2.5 times maybe your theater that you went to, so not gigantic, but it was a good comfortable size, and we were really able to just like sit down. We had our snacks and had a really good time. I really appreciate how this movie allowed itself to be mystic without trying to explain itself overtly. Like we've seen it in the past with like especially the Thor movies where they're like, well, what you call magic is actually science in our world and math, and it's like, but is it though? Really? I don't see much science here.
There's always an explanation, scientific explanation. You just gotta look for it somewhere. Huh?
No, I'm sorry, Thor. Quit trying to be cute, okay?
Damn it.
I really appreciated that part. Like they were able to get through the storytelling and the scope of what this was without being like, oh yes, from the Chitauri 3,000 years ago through these rings, and they went through time and landed in ancient China. And it's like, no, nobody really knows where these things came from. It was a legend. This guy found them, and he had eternal life from them. Like they didn't explain it like, oh yeah, the energy from the rings was able to charge him and had this like mind field all around. It's like, no.
It wasn't the same as The Last Airbender in the start of the movie, where it's like 4 minutes of just talking, but they did explain every single detail.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they did a really good job of like laying down the settings. I also jumping a little bit ahead, but also in the beginning a little bit. I love how they incorporated Iron Man with the whole Mandarin scene. It's like, oh yeah, I'm Trevor.
Oh yeah,
actor.
I love that. It's a great callback. I think it's one of the only times where I like actually started laughing out a little bit extra when I saw that. I was like, I know that guy.
You did the Leonardo DiCaprio pointing meme.
Yes, I did exactly.
Yeah, so it was really it was really cool to see that tie-in that he was like, oh yeah, I was trying to I was basically this caricature of your father, and I went to prison, and then he came and found me to kill me, but now I'm just here in prison and I'm just chilling with this weird pig chicken.
Yeah, pig chicken.
Pig chicken without a face.
Love that creature. I want a pillow like that. They made that just so they can make merch out of that, or like toys.
Exactly.
They're just gonna sell
it was
toys.
adorable.
Oh
I'm
wow.
surprised there isn't one already. But yeah, it was a really fun look at kind of how you can create and honor kind of the heritage. Obviously, they did take some creative liberties. Of course, it's Marvel. But I think overall they did a really good job of kind of like pointing out the mysticism of it all without being like super cheesy or super explanatory. I think they did a good balance there. I like how they opens up on Sean, the our main character.
Oh yeah.
And
he's
he's just like he's living life as a normal dude.
just a normal dude. Well, a normal dude in hiding, but yes, a normal dude. Technically, yeah. I like
they
that.
kind of like tease it a little bit where he's working out, but like, and then he goes and he's a a valet.
Yeah, I was like, and I saw that. I was thinking, I was expecting him to not be the guy walking out of the car and being the fancy guy, but I did not expect him to do the valet approach. I was like, I like that because I've never seen that in a movie before.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good creative take. Thank you.
Yeah, and like having this very human interaction, and then
Exactly.
when they go in the bar and they get really drunk and hungover the next day, it was great. Like it just kind of this very human look, and then it starts to take the turn into the mysticism once we get to the bus scene where they're attacking everything, and it's like, well, who are you?
I was so afraid at that scene that it was going to just be like, well, after the scene, after the bus part, that it was going to be like a mercenary chase, which we have seen a lot of the times in the movies.
Yeah.
Luckily, that didn't happen. However, I gotta say, while I was sitting there and watching the bus scene, my mind went straight to like cyberpunk because of the music they had in there.
Yeah.
I was like,
I mean, they have a dude with
"That's
a
so
freaking
cool."
sword for an arm.
Yeah. I don't know, did he pick up the music though? Did he pick up on the music?
Dude, the music in this movie is so good. After we got out of the cinema, Sydney and I were like, man, dude, the soundtrack is so good for this movie. Like I was getting very like Raya and the Last Dragon mixed with Avatar: The Last Airbender vibes from it all. Like it was such a good mix of all of these things that I love.
I managed to get a few Kung Fu Panda in there as well.
Yeah.
I saw it somewhere and I heard a little bit of the music there. It's like I think my mind was actively looking for something that could relate to Kung Fu Panda. So you did not see, or you did not hear anything in the bus scene that kind of got that cyberpunk feel for you. Did you even play that game?
I did play. I've sunk in, I think 10 hours into Cyberpunk.
All right, so just like more than the average person then.
Yeah. I can get that vibe too, especially like once we get to the later kind of brawl area.
Exactly.
That was like, I was feeling it 100%. Like, yep, like that cyberpunk there.
That was crazy, dude. When they walked in the fighting arena stuff, and I saw that big giant dude, and I just like, is that Abomination? Oh, that's Abomination. And I was like, dude, that's insane.
Mm-hmm.
So the giant guy that you saw fighting Wong,
Yeah.
the fish-looking guy, that's Abomination. So a same guy that fought Hulk in the original Hulk movie.
I thought that, but I didn't know if it was 100%. So it is confirmed to be Abomination. It looked just like it.
It is Abomination, but the redesign is more accurate to the comics version of him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Where he's
and
more fish looking like.
yeah, I'm not sure though if it's the same guy inside, but I don't know.
I highly doubt it's the same actor and all that stuff. Cause
No, obviously not. obviously not. But I'm thinking like if they were to do like they might do like the same Bruce Banner thing. If they ever show him again, they might do the Bruce Banner thing where they just change the actor. It's the same background, but they change the actor.
Not to get too deep, but at the end, Bruce Banner is Bruce Banner, not Hulk Banner.
Yep.
What? How is this working? What happened? What the flip?
Well,
did I miss something?
I think so. They are two individual people, and I know that Hulk likes to rest sometimes inside Banner.
But like the whole thing with the whole Endgame thing is that they merged the two, and now it's just him.
I don't know. Maybe they just figured out a different way. This is Marvel. But at least like continuity wise, like they kept the arm. Like he's still healing his right arm, which he used to, finish or change things back to normal. So
yeah, the snap.
Yeah, he did the reverse blip. So they got that. They got the arm at least. But I don't know. Maybe you got to do some research. Maybe they have an explanation for it later. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I also kind of getting into more of the meta multiverse here, talking about the wider scope of Marvel movies. Everything is leading up to Doctor Strange. Like, I was super surprised that we saw Wong in this movie. I mean, it makes sense considering they'd be in the same circles, but it was surprising to see Wong, especially with how like rigid he is with his magic, to be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna use my magic to go fight Abomination in a ring for money. It's like, what? Huh?
I don't
also,
I don't know.
Do you think the time in Spider-Man when Wong says, "Okay, I'm going," and I'm headed out, is the moment where he gets Sean or goes to fight? It's got to be one of those two, right?
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but in the trailer, he looks like he's wearing some type of like outfit, which is like snow outfit, dressed up for going into the snow or something cold or somewhere cold. Like it looks like he's going to go on an adventure, not exactly picking up the other guys.
Yeah, that's true.
But I was thinking about the connection. I was thinking about the connection there that he was going to travel over there to maybe talk with them though, maybe visit them again or something.
Yeah, maybe it's the time where they're like, oh my gosh, the rings, we felt that all the way in what was the place called? The other place, like deep in the Alps or whatever there.
I forgot.
I know it, but I can't remember it. But yeah, it's got to be one of those moments, like in the Spider-Man trailer, where he goes out and it's like he's got to be doing something, and like you can't have Wong in this big role, and then also in my whole point is like everything's leading up to the Doctor Strange movie. Like they're about to blow this whole thing open.
Oh yeah, do you just I know it's a little bit of a sidetrack here, just quickly, but do you think Doctor Strange is going to be the new Iron Man for this?
Oh, 100%. He's definitely the new Iron Man.
Yeah.
I mean, he was already like off-brand Iron Man when they introduced him.
It's going to be interesting to see how they develop the character throughout the movies then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely think they're going to give him the Iron Man treatment where he becomes like a fan favorite character, having been like this kind of like, I mean, Iron Man was definitely like a B or C list hero before Marvel did all their magic and brought him into the highlights. So I think there's going to be a huge part of that.
Oh yeah. Well, he did strike it really gold with the first Iron Man movie though. Like
exactly.
Like that was the thing that made him just, his net worth like quadrupled,
Mm-hmm.
Just that.
Yeah. I think it's going to be good. Like everything's leading up to the multiverse. We've got Loki, we've got WandaVision, we've got everything is all converging on Doctor Strange of the Multiverse of Madness, and I think that's going to be the big kicker off of this next wave of like we're going to have that gigantic, huge next Avengers moment where these characters that are continuing on are carrying on the torch for the story.
So, did you see? I know we're jumping back and forth here, but did you see the end credits?
Yes.
Both of them.
Yes.
Nice. Okay.
Of course, like you don't leave a Marvel movie with the credits.
A lot of people leave after the first credit and forget that sometimes Marvel leaves a second credit at the end.
Yeah. Even if they don't do anything, they announce the next Marvel movie.
Yep. And they were like, the 10 rings are returning. So, yeah. No, we're definitely seeing more of those guys. Because you were mentioning that we're going to like everything is leading to Doctor Strange and all that kind of stuff. But I have a feeling that they want to build more. Well, they have some options. They can either do the Doctor Strange movie where they have more of the main cast from this movie and put them into the Doctor Strange movie, or they can do like a second movie of the Ten Rings, and then later on add them to Doctor Strange line.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see another Ten Rings movie possibly, and they're gonna be working through the backgrounds of these next few movies. But I definitely think we're gonna see them in their own specifically themed movie.
So a little bit like Guardians of the Galaxy, working in the background and then eventually coming out together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or like it's Captain Marvel, right? Brie Larson.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like her character. Her character is always just like, oh, I'm hopping from this one thing to the next thing.
I'm so confused with that character, so I'm just leaving out of it.
I'm not a fan of Captain Marvel. I hope they do something fun with her character. I'm not one of the whole Brie Larson hater things. I'm not always the biggest fan of her in movies, but I think Captain Marvel has a place in the Marvel movies. I just don't know what it is, and I hope they really land on her character and actually do something interesting. Because I don't. This is getting like way off tangent, but I don't see her as an ultimately interesting character quite yet. I think they've set up in ways that she can be very interesting, but I think for a while we're just going to see her in the background until they find out what her character is going to be in the broader scope of things.
They kind of did a Superman with her, which sort of that's the problem with that character.
They wrote her into such a weird position to be such a powerful hero, and then they're like, well, she's too powerful to actually have with all the other heroes, so we're just gonna have her going from galaxy to galaxy.
Yep, that's how we do it. Bye, I gotta go.
Okay. Yep. Okay, see ya. Yeah, I don't have her phone number. She does this all the time.
It's so great. It's so great. It's like, just, what are you doing it?
Getting back into the Shang Chi side of things, we have this really good look of like this very different position of brother and sister, the whole fight scene, how they're really approaching each other. The powerful father-son situation that they have there. The scene after they go in the fight and Shang-Chi is about to like freaking murder the dude that has plagued his life for so long and has shown that he still has it all. And then he's like, oh, stop.
You see his father suddenly returning. After the fight arena place, I don't know, do we even have a name for that? The place where
I don't know. The brawler area.
Brawler area. I can't even say that. So after that, and they get captured, my instant thought on the father was that, oh no, he's a bad guy now. But then he takes them home, and then I get this like low vibe of like negative energy from him. But it slowly grows to me to become like more acceptable somehow. I kind of get that feeling that he's trying to do the right thing. Like he's not that delusional. Like he's being smart about it. Maybe just not morally adjusted to their point of view. But yes, I was like starting to get what he's trying to do, and then he went straight back to the path of like he wiped his mask and went straight back to the path of that the dark side,
Mm-hmm.
And it was that dynamic of that character which I really liked. The father. His confliction, his mental confliction throughout the movie that went like up and down. He's happy and sad and happy and sad. So I like that. And then obviously you have the son coming in the middle, and the daughter obviously, and they're trying to align it. It's a weird analogy, but it's the best I can do.
Yeah. And also the actor for the real Mandarin, Tony Leung Chihuahua? Chwai?
I could just call him Tony.
Big Tony.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I practiced any Chinese. At one point I was learning Chinese, but I dropped off sadly. But yeah, he is such an incredible actor. Oh my gosh, like the emotions he's able to bring across for his characters. Like he did such a good job carrying on the differences of being a loving father, but also having this incredibly long life, to have this the amount of time that he spent with his family versus the rest of his life is such a drastic difference that I think he did such a good job of nailing that balance of trying to be a loving son or loving father while also losing the part of him that was a loving husband, and the part of him that was the loving husband died when he went to go get groceries and came back and his wife was gone. Like, it was
Ouch.
such a strong relationship, and also giving his children the time that they needed to kind of separate and also be like, I knew where you were the entire time.
I could get you anywhere. I
Mm-hmm.
knew where you were. What hit me the most is that he's been around for a bit over 1,000 years. Like, all the things he must have learned, all like he took over places all over the world and conquered, and he finally found someone that he loved, and then he settled down, and it's just wiped away from him, and then all he can see is like, well, now I got another 1,000 years, or I can try to save my wife, who she wasn't there, but
Yep. That's dude, that movie. I love the underlying human thoughts. I mean, I was watching High Top Films, who I don't always agree with his takes, but he does think them out very well. His thoughts, he is a human person in terms of the movies that he likes. He likes the humanity in the superhero movies that he likes. And going in and hearing his thoughts, like, I do understand that, and I noticed this too, is like, as they're on the plane and he's telling this like really thoughtful moment, and it's like it gets ruined by the freaking hostess lady. It's like, oh, do you want
beef?
vegetarian or beef? Oh, sorry, we're out of vegetarian. It's like, well, then obviously we're gonna do the beef. Okay, and what would you like? The beef as well.
I think the writers just knew at that point that if they continue telling the story like that, it's going to be too cliche. So they just needed to, like, you know what, we're going to do something interesting. Divert the expectations of the viewers.
Yeah, but also, like, Marvel movies, you expect it to go that way. So, like, diverting the expectations is leading right into them. It's like the obstacle is the way.
The obstacle is the way. Since after the gladiator stuff, you've been saying that every single podcast. Is like,
exactly, man. The obstacle is the way.
I sat there. I did not expect them to just suddenly cut it. Like, after I saw it, it's like, oh yeah, that's typical Marvel stuff. But I didn't expect it. I thought they were going to continue on with the story throughout. Just going to tell the entire story of his father's legacy, or his story up to now.
Mm-hmm.
I was surprised, personally.
Yeah, I was expecting something to happen. I didn't know what it was, but it's like they can't be letting this dialogue go on this long. It's Marvel. You have to have action as soon as action or funny, right? Like right on the end caps of these very emotional moments.
It's like I read somewhere that they have like a 7.5 minute rule or something like that. Where
yeah, I've seen that as well. They have some kind of formula where they say, oh yeah, we're gonna put a joke or action in at these amount of periods.
Yeah, something like that.
It's the whole thing with Marvel movies. They have an expectation of what they want, and they have a formula, and it's gonna stick to the formula versus a new idea. But like, I think they were able to kind of do a good balance. Unlike High Top Films, I feel like they did a really good balance of those really personal moments. Going into the expectation of this is a Marvel movie, I think they were able to get away with a lot. The whole mysticism side of things, the whole really powerful father-son and father-daughter moments, and brother-sister moments that they had. Like, I think they were able to get a lot of heart in there while still being a Marvel movie in terms of the producer led. This is the formula. Now go play in the sandbox. But you can't build that kind of castle. You have to build this kind of castle. I think they did a really good job with that.
My thoughts went straight to Star Wars. I'm like, Disney, Star Wars, Lucasfilms, are you listening? I kind of lost it there a little bit.
Going into the negatives, I kind of voiced mine. What are some of the things that you had issues with in this movie?
I think fundamentally, overall, okay, as I said, like it's a good movie. I'm gonna actually, you know what? I really like the movie actually. To
Yeah.
just fix that a little bit. What I said earlier, I really liked the movie. It was a good movie. Will I watch it again? Absolutely. The only like things that I had with the movie that I didn't like was that there was many moments that, or a few moments at least, where I could sort of just expect the highlights of the movie. Like when her sister came,
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't a surprise to me. I saw it like from a mile away that okay, she's not here right now, but he will fight her in the arena.
Yeah.
Like,
As soon as they said that, oh, she's not here right now. It's like they're gonna fight each other under like different names. 100%.
yeah,
It's gonna go this way.
and she's gonna be like aggressive and against him, like because obviously cliche. It was more of that cliche because I've seen that before. So I was like, okay. And the final battle itself was visually very awesome, but it didn't engage me at all. Like I didn't feel any emotional impact when the two monsters are clashing. And
Yeah, I had
stuff.
more emotional impact in terms of like what was going on when it was the father and the son. Like I really enjoyed that. But as soon as like the two monsters started fighting each other, I was like, okay, I've seen this before.
You know what I was thinking about when I saw that? I was like, am I watching another Godzilla movie here? I was literally thinking that because it reminded me of like two Godzillas going, or not two Godzillas, two monsters in a Godzilla universe, just destroying each other. I suppose I did feel tiny little bit when I was like, is the dragon gonna die now? Is he gonna lose his soul or no? No, don't kill the dragon. He's pretty cool.
Yeah, don't kill the dragon. No.
But aside from that, for me, that entire end fight next to like the visuals wasn't anything special to me. It was just a lot of fighting. I didn't get anything from it. So that's fundamentally that's what I don't like about that movie.
Yeah, Marvel movies with their end fights, they don't have a whole lot of unexpected consequences. I'll put it that way.
Oh yeah.
Like you knew that somehow, whether it's by the son or by some other force, the dad was gonna die.
They couldn't keep him living. They couldn't keep him living.
I think I would have liked to see him. I mean, he did hand over the rings to his son, ultimately. But I would have liked to see him alive. Again, that messes a whole lot with the whole like formulaic type of thing with Marvel movies is you have to have the all-powerful father figure kind of step aside for those characters to shine. But it also means like, man, think about all the knowledge that dude had.
The wisdom.
Even if he was just like a side character, like in a prison or something, like it would have been cool to see him live.
There are not many, except aside from like the Eternals, there are not many in the Marvel universe who's lived on Earth for 1,000 years.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, you could use this guy a little bit more. You can squeeze him a little bit, but no, just gonna kill him. So you gotta kill him right here, which is fair. But
yeah, 100%, it's fair.
Could have. I'm just saying. Could have.
Yep.
If done right.
Yeah, if done right, they definitely could have. It's just one of those things. It's like, okay, yeah, but I saw that coming. I did appreciate that it wasn't like the son wasn't forced in the position to end the father. I think that it saved a lot of the humanity of Shang Chi. I think he was able to overcome the hatred and the murder machine, but they didn't really commit to that idea ultimately. Like he was still
thought that was
like
a bit weird. He
was still like, I am a murder machine, and then they just kept on going. There was no realization of like, he may have. There was a little bit of it, but not like as explicitly of like there wasn't a visual or emotional change in his approach to that situation. He did ultimately become a balance of his father and his mother, but there wasn't that like realization of, yeah, I was born to be a murder machine, or I was raised to be a murder machine. I was trained to do that, and now it's time to attack the father. Maybe it was the whole like visual metaphor of him meeting the dragon and then rising up out of the ocean that really had the change. It was more like a visual thing, but I didn't really feel like there was a huge emotional change in his character after that.
I did not get anything. Like I did not understand the dragon part. I understand it from like what the father and mother and all that, the history before, what they mentioned that you got the dragon inside of you and that kind of stuff. But when I actually saw the dragon after, when he was drowning, and then he started to fly right up and became super powerful all of a sudden. I didn't feel that. I didn't really, honestly, I didn't understand it.
Yeah.
It was just there. Like, I kind of see the connections, but it's just there. I'm like, is it because of culture wise that they're adding it in, or is it like, obviously, because I know the cultures and stuff there. It's like dragons are holy creatures, spirits and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously that takes a huge part in it. But
Yeah.
I didn't understand it.
I think that part of things would definitely benefit from an extra watch.
Yeah, maybe if I just watch it again without then I can actually analyze the movie, and
Mm-hmm.
there are things and hints here and there. The dragon eyes that they used, and the dragon's talk. I think it's talking about the dragons and stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot.
I agree.
Oh. There's one scene here, because I said dragon talk. This is a very specific scene. It only lasts for 10 seconds if you picked it up. There's a part just when the dragon and that soul sucker thing. I don't know. What do you call that creature?
The monster embodiment of Disney.
Yes, the monster embodiment of Disney. Just when they clash, you see the old man and the friend of Shang Chi, and they're talking together about, like, you need to hit the neck, right? Remember that part? You gotta hit the neck. And there's a part there where just when they clash, you see the old man starts to talk, and I seriously thought at that point that the two creatures are talking together. Like, I thought suddenly, all of a sudden, they started talking English, because I didn't recognize the voice at all. And I thought for a second there, is this a editing slip up or something like that? Because this does not fit at all.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. At least it wasn't the two dragons talking, because then I would be like, okay, that's a little bit too much.
Oh, okay. It was a little too much there, buddy.
You've been editing a little bit too late now. You gotta go to sleep.
But man, what a powerhouse of a team that they had working on this movie. Like, the cinematographers, the person that worked on the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies, like the powerhouse of a team. We're just freaking rocking it out. Like, I think they really, really did a good job with everything. And I can't remember exactly, but there was another one of those things that was like, that's a weird editing choice, but okay.
I'll tell you what's weird editing choice. The amount of times I just saw where they used green screen and pulled people back with the ropes.
Yes.
And the harness and the ropes. I was like, dude, I can see the CGI here where they removed and masked.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, dude, come on, you could do a little bit better than this.
Yeah. I think there was some really great visual moments in that last fight, but ultimately, like, there were some scenes where it was like, okay, yep, this is definitely a blue screen stage right now.
It's like a mini Wakanda, It's like a mini Wakanda fight.
Yeah.
At the end there. Just them fighting around, and you see, like, characters flying from one side of the screen to the other, but it doesn't really look realistic, but you just accept it.
Mm-hmm. It's super cool, too, to see that, like, ancient village with these are they aliens from another dimension? I never really got fully what was going on there.
Wait, who?
That village, they're saying, oh yeah, we had these gigantic cities that like the biggest cities in the world pale against.
Yeah.
And these creatures went from dimension to dimension, and then we came here. The best fighters of our towns came here to protect Earth, and then the dragon came and turned the tides on them.
We had to protect this dimension so that your dimension would be safe or something. And I'm paraphrasing a little bit here out of my reach, but that part there, or the entire thing, I was like, is this another Wakanda scenario where there's like, it's a world within a world? Or is this actually a, different place in the universe? Or where are we actually,
Mm-hmm.
It was a little bit confusing, that's for sure. But I liked it. I liked the story. You know what? I gotta say, when they were walking through that wall and they're seeing the story throughout, obviously this is not something, this is not new. Like, people all over the world have done this for, thousands of years. But I got, like, thrown straight back to, like, Skyrim. Just seeing like battles and dragons and fight and portals and like cities and all the things being burned, and I was like, hey, this is just like Skyrim here. I like this. So I really appreciated that they told the story that way instead of, it was a little bit different than what we see usually in movies. I feel like that way of telling a story when I go through a wall, I don't see that too often in movies. I appreciate this. Usually there's just a guy telling the story and then you have some flashback cutscenes and stuff. But this time it was like you were there in real life. You had to just study the piece of art and figure out the story for yourself. I like that.
Yeah, I really like that whole character. I don't know how to describe it, but the whole character kind of arc there of the mysticism of it all. I think they did a really good job of balancing it out, and like you said, the kind of Skyrim vibe that they had there.
I just got a great idea for an edit. We might see it somewhere in our social media sometime. We'll see.
Keep an eye out, everybody. Keep an eye out.
Oh yeah.
I think with that we kind of covered the main ideas of the movie. Are there any last kind of final thoughts that you had?
Any last kind of final thoughts that I had? Nope. I can't. I watched, like, literally, I finished the movie less than 2 hours ago. So my mind is still not developed yet, you know. I need to think about this a little bit. But I gotta say, I'll give this movie an 8. I'll give this an 8 out of 10.
Same here. That's my rating as well. I think it was a solid film.
I've heard some people say it's the best Marvel movie. I don't agree with that, but it's definitely high up as one of the better ones, the better ones, you know.
Definitely, especially an origin film.
But yeah, exactly. Especially an origin film. The origin films are the ones that are difficult to make, very difficult to make. So, you know, give credits to all of the actors and amazing talents who were behind the movie to make all of that come true to our big screens.
With that, if you did enjoy this video, definitely do consider subscribing and hitting the like. If you disliked the video, the other button works as well. But we'll see you all in another video from us here at Uplink Cinema.